Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the XS Gaming Podcast. This is a belated Halloween special, and it wouldn't be any more special than any other Halloween special if I didn't have my wonderful co-host, with the mostest, Mr. James Gruesome. What's up, James?
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Good, happy, belated Halloween. Hope you stayed away from those peanut butter kisses or whatever those black and orange things are, and just hope you had a good time and watched some fun movies and just had a good month. And like we said, we're a little late. Hopefully we can continue the fun of Halloween, because I'm a little bit sad because it kind of came and went.
It really did.
And then by the time it left, I was just, it left me just a little bit down. And all the other holidays are encroaching, which can be quite cumbersome. And it's I still want to hang on to Halloween just a little bit longer.
Oh yeah. Well, it wouldn't be a Halloween special at XS Gaming Podcast if we weren't joined once again by Mr. Ryan Cadaver. What's up, Ryan?
What's up? Thank you guys for having me again. It's always a pleasure. I'm glad that we continue to do this every year. It's always a fucking blast.
Indeed. And for some of our new listeners that aren't too familiar with you, Ryan, how about you tell our listeners, who are you?
I'm the singer of the Casket Creatures. I work on some independent films here and there. We got a movie called Joe Striker that I co-directed. I'm involved in a lot of things. Neon Warlords is a new thing that I'm doing, which is a really cool little 80s metal kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And I'm also we have Cadaver Candle Company, so that's something me and my wife do, where we make cool theme park candles and spooky horror candles and stuff.
I have one burning right now.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, I I do a lot of things. I love the spooky time of year. I'm also upset that it's over, but every day is Halloween.
Yes, it is.
Indeed. Yeah, I just feel like the last couple months have really flown by, and getting it.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I have a theory about this. I think that. Oh, I like that. How just popping up there. But yeah, I have a theory about this where we all did nothing for so long, and now that we're back to kind of doing shit again, shit seems like it's gone by so fast.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, just going back to having stuff to do on the weekends, it's just time just jumped.
And everything is a little, where things are a little bit more open and people are doing a little bit more, I could say, Halloween for us, we always have our friends that used to do the haunted house down the street. So it was insane back here for many years, 1,000 people. Halloween was always alive, and last year was their last year. So this year they didn't do it, and actually I feel kind of sad because we didn't even decorate, because usually my wife decorates, but she just didn't get around to it, and we didn't decorate. There's always some Halloween crap around the house, but the kids came out. She wasn't doing the haunted house this year like she normally does. So she actually gave out candy because I kind of fell asleep on the couch around 6 o'clock. Because out here in my town, we actually did Halloween on Halloween, whereas Fayetteville, where I used to be from, they did it on Saturday. Spring Lake, now we did it on Sunday. We actually did it on the actual day. Which is probably kind of confusing for a lot of people too, because I don't think many people knew which day to really do it on. And while I don't really like Halloween being moved for, no offense to religious people, I don't like being moved for that reason. I'm okay with it for, the enjoyment of kids. I always kind of wish there'd be a teacher work day the next day, no matter what day Halloween falls on. I think would be cool. But my town actually did it on Halloween, and, my wife got to experience giving out candy, which I normally do. And we still had a lot of people. We got rid of almost all the candy. And once again, I got to say, man, the kids, no matter how old they are or what costume they're wearing or not, they're very polite. And, you can't hate on that. So, I might want to give you a piece of crappy candy because you're too old and you don't have a costume. But if you're thank you, sir, I'm going to give you a full-size Snickers. So,
That's too funny. Yeah, I talked to a lot of people that were saying that, they had so much candy left over because they didn't have a whole lot of trick-or-treating this year. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, we had a good amount this year in our neighborhood. they also did it on Sunday. Now, is that the reason that some places were doing it on Saturday because of religious reasons?
Yeah, they might kind of try to say that it's not, but I really do think it is.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah, like I said, I mean,
crazy.
if it's more for the kids and like, they can stay out later, but I mean, like it ran 6 to 9, and like I said, it's totally different. Like I said, we kind of have a couple cities that are all around the same area, like mine, Fayetteville, Hope Mill, Spring Lake, and I looked it up to check because I wasn't sure, because I almost kind of wanted to be on Saturday because I was like, I'd rather just, because I have to go to work the next day on Monday, and I'm just like, I'd rather just lay around on Sunday, but they have that day, and I mean, I really think that is the reasoning behind it, but like I said, you never know. I mean, they don't change it for any other day if it's in the middle of the week. They don't move it from Thursday to Friday, so
yeah, because I was thinking that same thing, because I was like, why? What's the big deal? Like, it's always the 31st. Like, why does it matter if it's Saturday or Sunday? And I heard people doing it on Saturday, and I didn't know why. But this is making a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, like say, hey, like Casket Creatures, Bible Belt horror rock. I mean,
yeah.
Like you know where we live, and I mean, like I said, it does happen. I think it's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really just about the kids, to me, having a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
I was about to say when you said in the day, I was about to say it's all about the candy,
candy and kids, that's what it is. But I think that might have been in some areas why they did. But to me, also, it's very confusing because when you got one, city that's one day, one the next, and I think everybody's confused. We thought we might have kids on Saturday. We actually didn't have any, but I talked to some people at work, and a lot of them even were confused because some areas were doing it, some weren't, and it's man, just leave it to one day. I really think it just needs to be like this. Just make it easier,
I agree.
What can you do?
Well,
yeah, no, I agree 100%. I mean, it's the 31st. It needs to stay the 31st. Like, that's just in the story.
Yeah, and just make a t-shirt work day the next day, and then kids can have off. Because Halloween was always better when it was on like a weekend or a day you didn't have school. I remember. It was great.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Well, there was some interesting news that happened today. And Ryan, have you did you see that they have released a about 20-minute gameplay footage of Elden Ring?
Dude, I actually when I cut on my computer, I saw a bunch of stuff about Elden Ring immediately, but I haven't watched it yet. Like, what's it like?
It's like Dark Souls meets Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I'm down with that. That sounds awesome.
It is really cool. I didn't watch too much of it because I didn't want to I didn't want to spoil myself. I just saw just enough that I can kind of get a grasp of it, and I'm like, oh man, this looks freaking good. Looks really good.
I've been hearing the hype about it for a while.
And they're also doing there's going to be a fan made that they got from Software, got their blessings. They're doing a Dmake, a PS1 Dmake of Bloodborne that's going to be released on PC. It's a free game.
Wow.
And
what?
Yeah, it's like
so it's going to look like Nightmare Creatures.
Pretty much. That's exactly what it looks like. And they said that it's not. It's like an emulated PlayStation fan made game. It's not like actual PlayStation hardware, but it's all emulation. Yeah. But it looks really cool. But that's going to be coming out at the end of this year.
Wow, that sounds incredible. I'm all about that. Bloodborne's one of my favorite games. I like out of all those Demon Souls, Dark Souls, like out of all those, Bloodborne's the one that I finished all the way to the end, and I really fucking loved the entire thing. I felt like it was the right balance of not being too incredibly hard.
Yeah.
I felt like Bloodborne was all doable.
Yeah, I really like Bloodborne out of all of them. It's a shame they haven't done any more with it, because I would love to see a Bloodborne too.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking up pictures of this Dmake, and holy shit, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about that.
So is it like a 3D Dmake? Is it the?
Yeah, it looks like a PS1 game.
Oh, okay.
It was like the 3D
I heard you say
polygons.
Nightmare Creatures. All right, because I was thinking, I didn't know if it'd be I didn't know if it'd be we've had a couple PSP and 3DS games and Switch, that have come out that have been a bit similar, but were more 2D. That I could say like a 3D one. Like it's kind of weird how we're all like nostalgic for like crappy looking,
that's
old games like that.
It's
like
funny.
Nightmare Creatures was so brutal.
That's the way it is now. Like our nostalgia is starting to progress, and we're going to that point where like the PlayStation 1 is like our nostalgia now. It's kind of weird, like, cause
with a bunch of Rob Zombie playing in the background. Yeah.
and we would sit there and like be like, oh man, they're bringing back tank controls. This is awesome.
No.
Yeah. I've been playing a game recently, Tormented Souls.
Dude, okay, I gotta say, cause I was gonna get that game, cause I knew it, like, it was delayed, it came out on PS5, and I thought it was coming out on everything else on the 25th of October, and I went to get it on my Xbox One. I was gonna get it for me and my friend. He has a newer Xbox, but we figured like, well, we can still game share, if I get like the older version. And I found out like it was delayed until next year for Switch, old Xbox, PS4. So it's like if you have the new Xbox or PS5, you can get it now. But if you have anything else, you got to wait till like January of next year. And I was like really disappointed because I was wanting to play this game actually on Halloween was when I went to get it, and I couldn't. So I mean, how is it, man?
I like it. Like it's got really good graphics. Especially for like an indie like little tiny horror game. Like
it's like a $20 game too. Yeah, like when I saw, I was like, man, it's cheap.
It's a cheap game. It's got the atmosphere of like the old Resident Evils, but it's got a shiny new coat of paint on it. It does have tank controls. The hardest part about it is the enemies can kill you so fast, and it does have like an ink ribbon type system. So it gets kind of fucking brutal because like you'll do like 3 like major puzzles and then just like walk down a hallway and get killed, and then you're like, well, shit, now I got to do all that again.
Oh, that's brutal.
That's the worst part about it. Other than that, I really like it, but I haven't beaten it yet because I'm stuck on this one part where I'll solve a puzzle, walk down a hall, and this little thing like will crawl up to me and slice my legs off, and then I'm just dead. So
yeah, I kind of expected it to be like it might be a tough one, but honestly, that's one of the games. Not that it's like I was so thrilled to play it, but just the fact that it was like I had to wait so long. It kind of made me it kind of made me want to upgrade, to the new Xbox. Just because when I get one, like I'm going to get the, the digital one. It's just little annoyances because and I want, trust me, I want, people with the new systems to have exclusive games. It's been a weird transition period, I think, overall. And it's kind of hung around longer.
Nobody can get any of them.
Right. That's a big issue too. That is the main point. And, I want those exclusives, but it's like when you have this game that's $20, it's like, they're like, why are you delaying me months ahead? It's like either give it to me or not. So just that slight annoyance kind of made me want to go ahead and maybe just go ahead and upgrade if I can find one, which I think the digital Xboxes are a little bit easier to find, than some of the other ones. So if I see one and I can get it at the time, it's like, I might go ahead and snag one up, just to avoid, because like I said, having the game share with my friend, he's got the newer one, I got the older one. I think some things we can, some things will still be, complied with each other, but it's like, I'd rather just kind of avoid that in general. And I think the price is pretty good for the digital Xbox. So, if I can and find one, I'm going to get it.
Yeah, I have the Series S, and a few people at my work and stuff kind of were making fun of me for getting that. They're just like why would you get that thing? And I get it, but I'm like, and I'll admit, I also had that kind of personality where I got it just because it was hard to find, and I was like, ooh, I need a new shiny toy.
You snagged one pretty early.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't fault it because I mean, think about it, if you didn't snag it at that time, you probably wouldn't have one right now.
Yeah, and now that
crazy.
I do have one, I love it. I've had it pretty much since it came out. I got one I think I got it at launch, the Series S.
And, pretty much. I remember when you did. I have to give I have to give a shout out to my friend Kenneth, that got me my old, Xbox One S or whatever the old one's called. because he'd got that one for me. Like I said, we have the game share, and it's like I want to kind of keep up with that, And he told me that the digital one, as far as like my TV, because I don't have a 4K or anything like that, he's like, you'll be fine with this one. And I really only do digital because, you can only do game share with the digital. So I really only get digital games on the Xbox anyway. So it kind of makes sense. And anything else I can like transfer over beforehand,
And the way physical and digital media now is, I mean, like you're fine getting digital. I mean, because the only thing with physical that I'm still gravitating towards, of course, is you get the hold up, blah blah blah. But there's still like some fragment of like licenses, or like sometimes you can't re-download things on the digital market. But if you still have the hard disk, you can still play it. So that's really the only thing. But other than that, I mean, if I see a digital only Xbox or PlayStation and I want to get it, I'll go ahead and grab it.
Yeah, so I got the PlayStation 5 with the disc drive, and then I got the Xbox Series S. And the PlayStation 5, like, I do like having that disc drive because I can, like, if I see a game on sale, like, I've found some PS5 games on sale that were, like, on disc that were cheaper than buying them digitally.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that happens. Then it happens both ways, but that's the only good thing is you can be a little more versatile if you're a thrifty gamer. Like I know probably you guys are too, where you just look for deals all the time.
Yeah,
especially too with a lot of games like with the VR. Like a lot of VR games, even on the PS4, to get them easily, was only digital.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, you kind of learn the ease, and also too, like even Metroid recently, I was like, do I want to go to the store? Or do I want to just sleep in and stay at home? And it's like, I just kind of slept in and stayed at home, and then I got the digital the night before, and then I woke up and played it in the morning.
Yeah, and that Metroid game was like 5 gigs or something. Like it was like nothing.
Yeah, such a good game.
It's great. It's fucking amazing. I was just shocked at how little it is, but I mean, it makes sense. But I loved it. And the same thing, I downloaded Metroid digitally because I was like going on a flight the next day, and I'm like, man, that is the best type of game to play on a flight. I can just concentrate on and just sit there and zone out. And buying it digitally was a fucking lifesaver.
I'm pretty sure it was a much better choice than Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah, that was the worst, man. That was the worst purchase I ever made.
Oh,
it really was
terrible. Well, some of the stuff that we were going to be talking about on this episode, because it is Halloween, we wanted to have an alien theme because Metroid Dread and video games, aliens, Halloween all comes hand in hand. So we went through and all of us thought of like 3 games each, alien games we want to talk about. And since you're our guest of the honor tonight, Ryan, I'm going to ask you, what is one of your favorite alien games?
So I'm actually going to go with a VR game first and say Half-Life Alyx.
Because I don't know anything about this game.
Man. So I got that because there's kind of a game share kind of deal with Steam. I don't know how like legit it is, but like there's like a family share thing on Steam, and my buddy was like, yeah, you can sit there, and he just has like every VR game ever. So I hooked up my Oculus Quest to his Steam account, and I downloaded Half-Life Alyx. And I'm not even like a big Half-Life person. Like I've dabbled with 1 and 2. I think
it's cool, but it's like some people are huge about it, and then some of us are like, well, this is okay.
Exactly. So I thought it was okay. I was like, whatever. And then I played Half-Life Alyx, and like not only is it like the best like VR game I've ever played, but like it's so immersive and realistic that like there are times where it actually got me. Like it actually tricked me into like freaking the fuck out.
Oh wow.
One specific time, that this is why I wanted to bring it up, just to tell this story, but one specific time I'm sitting here playing Half-Life Alyx in my room, and I clear out my computer room when I play VR so I can kind of walk around a little bit and like move and not run into stuff. But there's these aliens that are on top of the ceiling, And if you get, and they have like tongues hanging down, or like tentacles or whatever. But if you get up too close to the tentacle thing, it'll grab you around the leg, suck you up into the ceiling, which is terrifying in VR.
Oh, wow.
So I was trying to shoot one, and I was like getting my gun ready, and I was pointing it up at the ceiling, and the ceiling fan was on.
Wow.
So at that point, my hand went into the ceiling fan, and I thought that the thing was biting my hand. Just for a split second. For a split second, I was like, oh god, and I freaked out. My hand got caught in the fan, and it was the scariest experience I've ever had in VR.
Wow. That's trippy. Are you going to try out the Resident Evil 4 VR?
Yeah, actually, that looks really, really cool. That's actually something I asked for Christmas. So the Oculus Quest 2 with Resident Evil.
Gosh, that's going to just be... Because I mean, that game just freaked me out alone anyway, because it was just freaking Chainsaw Man and people like fucking knocking down ladders and they pick them back up. Like that in VR just freaks me out. But James, what is one of your favorite Alien games?
You know, I'm going to pull this one out because it has been one of my favorites for many years. I remember sending pics and telling Ryan about it, and like he didn't know, but I have to go with the Aliens arcade game, which actually was from 1990. This one was pretty exciting. Like when I was a kid, it's like, you know about aliens, you played Contra and things like that. We didn't have that many actual alien games. And this one was very cool because it had like co-op, and, you know, you're going through, it's like you're, you know, Ripley and Hicks, even though Ripley has like blonde hair or something, because like they couldn't get the rights, you know, to Sigourney Weaver, to the actual, you know, looks. But just very fun, basic game. You know, I played it through, you know, emulation, like I've gone through it, beat it. But it was an awesome game. It was it was a hard game, you know, lots of eating quarters. I mean, they did that typically with us back in the day, robbing us youths of our quarters. But you know, that was one, it was very cool because it actually had, you know, the license. You ended up in the suit that she was in the movie. It kind of changed perspective. I mean, much like Contra, where you had, you know, the certain stages, you know, where you're running through. It was kind of, not the overhead, but kind of like that, it's semi-first person.
Yeah.
You know, when you go through the you know, the little, armories or whatever they were, you'd go through and, you know, it had a good mixture. Lots of crazy, like, alien creatures, and it's like, it had, you know, chest bursters busting out of people in the background. And, that was just a very, you know, it was very just classic one, I remember. And it's fun to play through. And like I said, it's great on emulation because you have unlimited continues. And, you know, you can go through and you can actually beat it. Unlike the arcade, which you could not, because it was very hard.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go completely on a different field than because I view it as an alien game because, you know, it does have sci-fi-ness, but Maniac Mansion.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah,
Maniac.
It's got a lot of sci-fi elements.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really fun game and very ahead of its time too. The whole point and click that, you know, was on home console. That's like, I would love for Maniac Mansion to be re-released on the Switch. Like, let's make it happen.
Yeah, they should just do a 2-pack with that and Day of the Tentacle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That one could. I mean, would you rather just the original Maniac Mansion, or would you like to see like a complete remake of sorts?
I'd be fine with like the original, but it was just the NES ROMs. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, that would be, like I said, it was, man, we got a couple of those games in between, like the Shadowgate series, you know, that Deja Vu, Uninvited, and Maniac Mansion. At least we get to experience like quite a few of those games that more of the people on PC, you know, had that we didn't. But I think we still got pretty like comparable versions, you know, on the NES. I mean, we didn't get a hamster blowing up in the microwave. But I mean, I don't really need to see that anyway, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty infamous stuff.
The more I think about it, the more I remember that I don't think I've played the PC version of Maniac Mansion. I've only played, is there a PC version? a Maniac Mansion, or was it just on NES?
No, it was on others because I mean I think that was the original one that had the hamster blowing up. That was one of those things like you know you'd hear it was like one of those secret things, but like it was a rumor that maybe like some early versions of the NES like had that. But I don't really know if it did. But, you know, it was, because a lot of those games were intended, you know, to be used like, you know, a lot of kind of point and click, you know, like mouse games, you know, with, like I said, Deja Vu, Shadowgate, Maniac Mansion. So, I mean, you know, yeah, there would have been like a PC version. It's just, we didn't have it. You know, we had what we had, and that was like the NES, and we were grateful, you know, for that version.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on Google, and yeah, it was released also on the Commodore 64. So,
oh, wow.
So that's I want to check that out. I want to check out the Commodore 64. But yeah, so that would be mine. What about you, Ryan?
You know, I was tempted to go Alien Isolation, but I feel like I've brought it up on every single podcast that
That's
we've
okay.
done.
That game deserves all the love it gets.
All right, well, you know what? I'm going back with it. Alien Isolation, because that to me still holds up as one of the scariest games ever made. And if they ever put that game in VR, I won't even play it because
wow.
Oh
that.
My god.
Yeah.
Yeah, because oh my gosh, that game like really captured that movie. Even though it was like, and I like the fact that it wasn't just a straight, you know, remake of the movie. It was its own thing, but it had the flavor of the first movie. And oh my gosh, like if you ran into the Xenomorph, you were going to die.
Yeah. It's horrific. And they actually had a DLC that was just straight up the first movie.
Oh,
like
wow.
There was a DLC where you could just be like Ripley, or Dallas, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was them too. But like, yeah, you could literally just play as them, and it's the first movie, and you have to make it to the end of the movie.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that would be cool. But I know someone, like, there is a version. I don't know if it was like somehow a homemade version. Someone did actual like a VR version of that.
Really?
Like, I think it was only like through PC.
Yeah, I don't think it was an official thing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't official. But I remember hearing, you know, terrifying results. You know, because like enough people were terrified through the regular game. You know, but to have that and someone running it through and doing that, I mean, I think was really awesome.
It actually runs really well on the Switch too. Like, it actually runs really well on the Switch.
Really? I haven't tried that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was watching a video by Digital Foundry, and they did a review of it, and they were showing the specs, and they were like, wow, this runs amazingly well on the Switch.
That's awesome. That's good to know, because that's one I've been wanting. I've revisited it a couple times, but it's about time to do it again. So that the Switch version might be the way to go.
Indeed. Even I mean, like, I wonder would it have the same effect playing it in handheld?
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know. If you sit back in a corner of your room and you're playing handheld all close up, like it might.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about the way, even on like the easiest difficulty, which is how I played it the first time. I'm not even gonna try to like act tough. Like the first time I played it, I played on the easiest difficulty. It was still super hard, super intense. That thing knows when you're around, and like there's not much of shit you can do. There's so much just hiding in vents, in closets, and just waiting for it to pass by, which sounds boring, but it's not when you're playing the game. It's not boring at all.
Yeah, it really has that like adrenaline rush, that hide and seek kind of fight or flight mode, you know.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like, you know, a lot of times when you have just like a bad guy chasing you around in a game, and a lot of times it doesn't feel like they really like have any like good AI. Like they're kind of just standing outside of the room. If you're in a safe room, they just kind of stand outside of there and they'll wander around, and you can predict what they're going to do. But like, the Alien Isolation Xenomorph was the only time that I did not know what it was doing.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't predict what it was doing. I think part of it's because it's up in the ventilation system and everything. Like, you really can't be like, oh, I bet it's hanging out here. I can just walk around this area and it'll get confused or whatever. Like, you can't do that.
Now, James, what's another Alien game that you'd like to mention?
We'll bring out another old one, since they had the old Aliens arcade. Another classic arcade game. It's available in a couple compilations, and I think it was even on the Atari Lynx, would be Xenophobe.
Oh, yeah.
Xenophobe was one, it definitely brought in that, look of the Xenomorph, completely ripping off Alien. It was on there, and very cool because it was a 3-player arcade game. And to me, it was a little bit more reminiscent of like Spy vs. Spy on the NES, which I'm sure like a lot of us played. You were setting traps against each other, but this one you were kind of, working together. But to have 3 people, you'd have the different rooms, you'd go through, crossing over, and it's like, change different levels, and like you're running away and trying to destroy this. It's pretty much a Xenomorph. Like, they really took that look of Alien and, gave it, and to have like, 3-player games or something that were a bit of an anomaly back in the day, like you didn't get the most of them. You'd have like, Mercs, couple, games, some of the
Rampage,
Rampage, like Golden Axe 2, it was really rare, but, to have that and, a little bit more of a comical looking game, I think, and it's like, it was also on the NES. Of course, it was, reverted to 2 players, but I think that, classic version, to have, be able to play 3 players, going through, it's like it had some, it could be as scary as it could be, for a game like that for its time. And that was just another one, like I really enjoyed. And it was cool to see it. And like I said, there's some compilations, like especially on I remember one, the PSP and, many other systems, like you could get it and play it. And it's just, it's a tough game. It's frustrating, but I love seeing that, Xenomorph looking Alien in games like that.
Yeah, the Xenomorph was such an iconic creature. It showed its way in every nook and cranny of media, even as far as like the Ninja Turtles with the like freaking alien pizza aliens. They look,
oh yeah,
they look just like Xenomorphs. But
and come on, we can't deny music wise, Danzig 3, How the Gods Kill. Come on, H.R. Geiger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's all over that, and it's like just to see that, it's just a very slick, slimy, looking thing, and that's what many of us think of. It's like it's either going to be an alien with like, its eyeballs bugging off its head, or it's going to be like a Geiger-looking slick alien, shoving another little alien out of its mouth in our face.
Well, I want to stay on the topic of Xenomorphs, because another one that I want to mention is Alien Syndrome from the arcade and the Sega Master System.
Oh man.
That was a really fun one. It was, very reminiscent of Alien, or Aliens, because it was like, a lot more gunplay, and it was like a top-down, kind of like Ikari Warriors meets Aliens, kind of like Smash TV, kind of. That was a fun game.
Yeah, that's another one actually I played in the arcade. Like, I remember that one, and also available on a lot of like really cool compilation discs. Yeah. And, having the co-op, which was always a plus. Like I said, I mentioned like the 3-player, with Xenophobe, which 3 players, 3 to 4 was like rare. Yeah. But even having 2 was really cool. And, having that game like that, I just remember lots of elevators or escalators, probably would be the right word, going around. And man, that one really captured it too. And that's cool because that's one like I really forgot about.
Yeah, like I had to look it up, and then I instantly knew what you were talking about. I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, that's awesome."
It's good stuff. And what about you, Ryan?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Duke Nukem 3D.
Oh yeah,
I love the alien designs in that. I love the pig cops. Yeah, I don't know. I've always had a soft spot for that game, and I recently replayed it, like the HD version of it. And I was like, man, this still holds up. This is a great game. And like the alien designs are fucking solid. So that would be mine.
That just makes me want to give a big shout out. I know he doesn't listen to the show, but my middle school keyboard teacher, Mr. Gibb, big shout to him because, man, this is like back in the day. I was in middle school and we were in keyboard class, typing and all that stuff. And every computer in his room had freaking Doom installed and Redneck Rampage.
Yes, Redneck Rampage is another alien game.
Oh my gosh. And I would sit there and I remember like sometimes I had to walk by the classroom. Like if I wasn't in class that day, I'd walk by and I'd look over and like everybody's playing Doom. It was just like, this is so cool.
There was something like about that time period where like Doom and Duke Nukem and Redneck Rampage and Postal Quake. It was like there's something like scandalous about playing those games though. It was like whoa, like you're playing those, like that's fucking hardcore, you know?
Yeah.
and everybody seemed to have that class. Like mine was technical drafting, to where it's like if you got done with your work, which I didn't ever really do, and I was terrible at. But I met a cool homie who introduced me to the Misfits. I will say, in honor of Halloween, I met this guy in technical drafting, who gave me a Misfits tape, because I knew about them through Metallica and their covers, as many people did. And I was in 10th grade, he was in 12th, and usually, like, those people didn't hang out with each other. This dude was 2 grades higher than me, and we were both, like, metal kids, so we had a connection, man, and, like, he said it was his cousin, who actually I'm still in contact with, to this day, the guy that the tape actually came from. The first Misfits tape, which changed my life. And in that technical drafting class, the teacher had Alone in the Dark and Doom on his computers. And it was
so
like,
cool.
if you got done with your work, which, like I said, I didn't really do because I was terrible at it. I don't know why I was in that class, but it was all for the better. But sometimes I'd probably lie and be like, yeah, I'm done. And I'd play Alone in the Dark or Doom. And, you know, like, so many kids in high school, like, had that one class where some teacher had this game that, honestly, we probably shouldn't have been playing in high school. Like, why was this allowed? But more
I
power
think
to those teachers that did it.
Yeah, and I think, you know, this kind of signifies, like, at that point where the teacher and the student are almost into the same stuff. Like PC gaming and video games.
It was definitely a younger, you know, a somewhat younger teacher for
That's
that
so
time.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like, I mean, if you were a gamer and a PC gamer, like, that was like the hot shit.
Those are the teachers that really changed lives right there. You know, it's not necessarily about the school. I mean, if you had someone change your life, you know, through learning and things like that, but sometimes it's meeting other students,
you know
and
what?
Playing these horrible games.
I don't remember.
And that changed your life.
Yeah, I don't remember my 7th grade math teacher. I don't remember their name, but I remember Mr. Gibb that let me play Doom. Like, I can't forget that dude.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Shout out to the teachers.
Y'all have way cooler teachers than I did. I did all my gaming after school with, like, the rejects that would, like, we'd hang out and play Duke Nukem and be like, oh, I think I saw a booby, but I can't tell because it's so pixelated.
Oh, God. I don't know what was up with, like, all the crazy, like, little adolescent, like, rumors like that. Be like, oh, there's a nude code. There's a, you know, like, the freaking Lara Croft nude code, the infamous nude code.
Oh, wait, here's one for you, Ryan. You'll appreciate this. Me and a friend of mine in, I don't know if he was in, like, 9th, I was in 7th, so somewhere around then, like, middle school, junior high. We skipped school that day and went to south of the border. And me and Ryan have rode on this horrible Ferris wheel that almost probably killed us, and we didn't even know it. But south of the border had these weird poker machines that had this, like, nude poker. And we skipped school one day and went down there and played these nude poker games. Once again, don't know how that was allowed, but somehow it happened. And yeah, south of the border, shout out, go check it out. They're tearing down part of it now, just to rebuild. It's not permanent. They're rebuilding it. You know?
It got flooded recently, right? Or like
I don't know, man. It's just man, that is not like if you live anywhere between like Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, like south of the border is one of those things. Like you just
one of the
need
last
to experience
roadside attractions.
Yes,
yeah. You know, where one of the places I work at, Pachinko World. Whenever someone comes into Pachinko World and they're doing like that, like Atlas thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Atlas Obscura.
Yeah, they always go to Pachinko World, and after Pachinko World's always south of the border. Like, and it's like now, like if they tell me, like, oh yeah, I'm doing this Atlas thing, I'm like, oh yeah, and right after this, head south of the border. You know. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, that site's awesome. Atlas Obscura. I look it up every time I go to any new city. Like, you know, if the Casket Creatures are playing in a different town I haven't been to, or like if me and Nicole are traveling, like I always go to Atlas Obscura, and it just tells us the weird places to go.
So
like,
cool.
Fuck all the tourist shit. Like, I want to go to the weird places.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Where were we at? I think we were on. I think it was your turn, Ryan. Talk about your my next alien.
Oh
game.
no, I was due Nukem.
Oh yeah, it was James.
Me here. I'm going to bring out one. Now, this is a big series that many know about, and I honestly haven't played that many of, but the one that stood out to me would be Dead Space.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah.
I'm going with the Wii version, Dead Space Extraction. Because I'm a huge,
cool.
I'm a huge light gun game fanatic, and that definitely fell under that. But this was one that it kind of stood out because it had a little bit more, things like unscrewing bolts, and it had a little bit more action to it than just blasting.
Yeah, that was a
games,
really good Wii game.
Yeah, a lot of games are just just blasting, shooting. This one had a little bit more mechanics to it. Like I said, the unscrewing screws and welding and things like that. It's like some actual jobs. But it was a very cool one. And like I said, Dead Space definitely, like I said, in case no one else brought it up. I mean, those other games, which it's one I think they have some remasters coming out soon.
Yeah,
it's one I definitely want to revisit because I've really only kind of dabbled within it. Like I said, the Wii one, which will probably not be included in the remaster, it's probably kind of lost in time. So so if you have a Wii, it's a great one to play. It's just a really fun, just light gun game, but it has just a little bit more to it. But I do think the other series, itself definitely needs to be brought up because that one, man. Can you connect any other Alien game, to Aliens more than that? It really, they had, 3 games in the series. It's one I think that should probably definitely be brought back. There should probably be another one. And it's one I really wish I'd played more. But the Wii one, like I said, man, it's great. Like you can do co-op, by yourself. It's a super fun game. Wii was like the bastion of light gun games.
Yes. That's why I bought a Wii, was for the Resident Evil light gun games.
Dude, yeah. The Umbrella Chronicles.
Yeah. That's why I bought a Wii.
House of the Dead.
Yeah.
That was on there. Even some of the crappy, little carnival games and stuff. A lot of those were very fun. And that's a reason to keep a Wii hooked up. The only other way you can really play games like that, I'd say the next best thing is PSVR. Which has some awesome, VR games as far as if you're into the shooting games and things like that. But still, even minus the VR, I think, your best bet if you're a fan of those games is to hook up a Wii and play this because there's just so many from the, what was the game with the, it was like a Sega series with like the, like LA Choppers or LA Machine Guns or something.
Yeah,
that's on there. There's Resident Evil, Umbrella Chronicles, House of the Dead, Overkill, just so many. And there's some that people even forget about. Even me myself being a fanatic, like there's names I'm forgetting, but there's ones that you can find that that is the perfect system. You can even put your Wiimote, in a little gun thing.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Just shoot away. So it's it's either if you want to pay the money for, PSVR, which is, not cheap, or go with the Wii. Honestly, I'd say, even though the VR might be a little bit more immersive, Wii is your best bet for a fun time. Like I said, whether a friend, your significant other, because almost anybody can get into a game where you're just light gun games are just, man, they're all inclusive.
Well,
I think anybody can have a good time.
Oh, and what's cool too is, and that's with the Wii or the Wii U. Both consoles are really easy to soft mod now. So I mean, Wii's are a dime a dozen. So if you go to say you go to some thrift store, this is a freaking unicorn story right now when it comes to video game collecting. But say you go to a thrift store and you find a Wii for like a couple dollars or something, you get that, and if you got a Wiimote and all that stuff. You just mod it, boom. You got yourself a little arcade, a little light gun arcade in the living room.
It's nothing better. I mean, it really, that is like the system. Like I said, unless, other than spending, way more money for a VR. If you just want a good time, easy, affordable, games are very cheap now. It's like, that is the system you want. And like I said, even like this bootleg ass fucking carnival games. You can have a fun time,
the
playing
carnival
those.
games. I actually had that on Wii and on PSVR, and that game is fun as shit.
Not to mention, too, speaking of Halloween, I will say there's, oh my god, Last Call, Ju-on, The Grudge, which is a little bit more of a haunted house game.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's on there. I mean, the Wii has some sick-ass horror games. There's a Silent Hill game on there.
Yeah, the Shattered Memories. That's actually really good.
Dude, I love that game. The game
So
is
good.
really, really underrated.
Hell, and even I'll throw out Cold Mountain. Cold Mountain is cheap as hell. It's not really great, but damn, I had a good time playing it, and it definitely has a spookiness to it. But like I said, Ju-on, Last Call, they actually are a little bit more expensive on the aftermarket. I lucked out and got them early on, but I mean, The Calling, there's like this, ghost girl, and it will call you on the Wiimote. And it's creepy, dude. Me and my friends are playing it, and it's like you get these little calls, and it will definitely bug you out. So there's some really great horror games on the Wii that they get a little bit ignored, and like I said, they are a little bit expensive now. So I mean, also if you have a way to emulate, definitely check those out, because I mean it's a great horror experience, and I think it's a lot of games. Like obviously, sometimes when games are expensive like that, it's because people missed out on them, or maybe there wasn't like a large production run. So, it might be in your best interest to search for other means to play those games.
Indeed. And for mine, I'm going to go completely off the beaten path, because this is, and I never played this game, but I watched my now ex-brother-in-law, I watched him play it. But it's going to be Star Wars Galaxies on the PC. It was an MMO, but what was really cool is when he first started playing it, they had an element that has stuck with me ever since. It's because this game takes place like after Episode 3, like before A New Hope, and all the Jedis, they're outlawed. So if you're playing this game, it would be really hard for you to become force sensitive to become a Jedi. Like there was a lot going on to do that. And if you became a Jedi, you wouldn't really want to be out in the open with a lightsaber being like, oh, look at me, I can do force shit. Because then it was PvP, so if someone was a bounty hunter, boom, they start killing you. That was a really cool concept.
That's fucking neat. What now? Was Galaxies the one where you could also just be like, I'm a bartender or whatever? Like,
yeah,
like you could just have like a normal ass job, like
dude.
That's what I'd always heard about.
That game, two of my best friends actually were super. Them and even more were super into that game, and they tried to get me into it, and I didn't. I never really latched on. But I mean, they had so much fun playing that it's a game.
Yeah,
I wish I had gotten into more. But like I said, literally two of my best friends were super into that game, man. So it's that just tells you and they're big Star Wars nuts too. So it's definitely that'd be a great game.
Indeed. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was freaking awesome. I enjoyed watching him play and all that stuff.
You seemed lost in thought. Contra. I mean,
oh my gosh.
You gotta bring that one up because, man, Contra had It had it all. It was that perfect mixture of Predator, Alien. Because come on, we got to give a shout out to Predator too. Predator versus Alien, also huge series going on. But any of the Contra games, man, just with they had a lot of the Xenomorph looking style aliens. Man, any of them. You actually went into an alien's body in a game. Like, how many did that? It was absurd. You had to destroy a beating heart.
Yeah, that was a good one, and I like now that we all collectively acknowledge that it's Sylvester Stallone and Arnold on the cover, and you like see these reimagining posters. I freaking love that.
Oh, dude, that poster is so fucking great. I love that it's like straight up like, isn't it Arnold and Dolph Lundgren?
It's Arnold and Rambo.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
But we love Dolph too.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren rules.
Showdown Little Tokyo. He's in some shark movie. He's in a movie, God, I can't remember what it's called. Shark Lake, maybe? Where he goes to hunt down a shark. And man, it's pretty awesome. Dolph Lundgren is tops, man. Come on. Drago,
hell yeah. You know, all this talk for some reason has me thinking about another light gun game, Area 51.
Oh yes.
Man.
Yeah, I'm like actually I got it playing in the background here, like on YouTube, and like I'm just like kind of catching glances of it, and I'm like, dude, this shit was like pretty next level.
It really was. Like in the very beginning where that guy tells you, he's like, stay low to the ground.
Yeah.
You're just like, whoa, this is about to get real. And for some reason, I see Area 51. It makes you think of like the old school Walmart lobby. And I can smell popcorn, you know? My God.
I can see that. Yeah, this shit was so cool. I loved how when everything exploded, it was like a bloody little puddle of skulls and stuff. Yeah, and I love the weird like zombie alien things. They were so cool looking, and like the bright '90s ass color jumpsuits.
Yeah, so they're out. Also, too, man. Hey, old 360 stuff. Lost Planet.
Oh yeah,
that game was great. Yeah,
right. It's not one I've delved into that much, but you got to bring that up. And also, too, as an ultimate favorite of mine. Just due to all the aliens and other weird crap going on in it. Earth Defense Force.
Yes.
Come on. Like,
oh, dude.
The ultimate budget 360 game, $40, and like, it still exists to this day. And I love the fact that like, it had this whole other life in Japan. There was so many games like we didn't even get. And, and it still pops up now and then. And like, that is another fun, especially co-op game. Like I said, it's not light gun, type, but if you want to hang out with your friend on the couch and play a game, man, you can't go wrong with Earth Defense Force on 360 or honestly any of the other versions. I mean, some could be hit or miss. Like I didn't love, all of them as much as I did some of the others, but it's still one that like holds up. I mean, just as far as like that killing aliens and giant dinosaur robots and stuff like that. I mean, God, come on. Can you really compare with that? No.
Oh yeah. You actually turned me on to that game. And
yes.
Me and Nicole both played a pretty good bit of it because it's like one of those few newer games that's split screen. And we played the shit out of that game. And like the acting in it's so fucking bad and goofy and it's so great.
Minimal buttons. Like it only uses a few. As far as the controller, I mean, look at that, James Grissom turning the world onto Yakuza and Earth Defense Force. I'm good, man. I can die tomorrow. I'd rather not, but I mean, I was like, that's my purpose in life, I guess.
Well, let's get into games we've been playing recently to wrap up the show. Ryan, what have you been playing?
We've been playing a game by Turtle Rock Studios, I think, called Back for Blood. It's a Left 4 Dead spiritual successor.
I've heard about that.
Yeah. So it's one of those games that, like, I probably wouldn't like it that much if it wasn't the fact that it's, like, cross-platform. So me and my wife can play it together. Like, we have, like, a little team, and, like, we got, like, strategies planned out and shit. Like, I don't think I would like it that much if I was playing it single player. Mm-hmm. But as a multiplayer game, it's really fun. It's really heightened. And oddly enough, it was also on my list of things to possibly talk about because the zombies in this are created by alien worms.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of neat. Yes, I've been playing that. I just beat Tales of Arise, which was cool. I will be playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla till the end of time because they just keep releasing DLC and it's the longest fucking game ever, but I like it, so I can't stop playing it.
What about you, James?
I'm lying. I haven't played this game recently. I did download it, but I'm going to say Destroy All Humans in honor of what we're talking about with aliens.
Oh man,
yeah, that's a good
I need to play
we
the
didn't bring it up.
remaster.
we didn't bring it up, but I mean, it's that nice mixture. It's got that old 50s feel, you know, the G-Men and the, you know, old, like even Back to the Future. It's just that old time town, you know, when aliens came and invaded and people didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was just a good time. And then, I mean, hell, other than that, I hadn't really played the most of anything else. Still been playing some wrestling games. Also, I'll say I've been big into, Muscles.
Oh yeah,
the old figures from the 80s. They might have avoided you guys because you guys are a little bit younger than me.
I know what I'm familiar with what they are. I never had them.
Yeah, they're a great man. The GameCube game is awesome, and I'm gonna tell a funny story real quick because I did find the game on GameCube and I was trying to buy it. It was disc only, and it was a little expensive. It was over like $60. And, disc only. And, I, you know, made an offer and the guy gave a counter offer. And then I came back and I sent him a message and I was like, look, dude, I was like, I'm not trying to lowball you, but I was like, if we could get like around $60, like with shipping, like I'm good. I said, if not, I understand. And this dude kind of just completely denied it. And then he jacked up his price
on
eBay from 60 to like 75 to where like if he came back I wouldn't even buy it for like $30. Just like the fact that I sent him a message, I was just like, man, like that is just rotten because I get and it's like I could get the game because like he jacked up to 75 with shipping. It's 80. I could get a copy right now for $90 minus instructions with cover and disc. Like, that's high. But, like, I really wanted to play this game because I've been into Muscles. I've been buying some old ones. I have a lot of my childhood ones.
Well, I honestly haven't been playing too much. I've been playing a little bit of Metroid Dread, which, you know, all of us were, I know me and you, James, were talking a little bit about the previous episode. And, Ryan, you said you were saying before the show that game was freaking awesome, right?
Yeah, I love it. I'm not terribly far off. Like, I'm on the second boss. But, I mean, I feel like that's probably about halfway, though. But, like,
yeah.
It's fucking really hard, but fair. It's good. It's a good game.
Nice. And so I've been playing that. And I also just started playing Lost Judgment.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, you know, it seems like that game flew under the radar for many people, but I think it's because that game came out around the same time that Tales of Arise came out.
Yeah, I got Tales of Arise, and I was planning to get to Lost Judgment, but I haven't gotten there yet.
Here, I also went out real quick. Halloween Kills. Yeah, you all seen that?
Yes,
I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it. I'm sorry.
Hey, Ryan didn't like it. Xander, what did you say? You liked it?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I
did too.
There was some parts. There were some parts I didn't care for, but it was just an enjoyable movie. I mean, it was just
kind of just a
fun thing.
Slasher. I don't know what I went in expecting. I went with my normal like wrestling like homies and like we went to go watch it and we had a good time. And it's very controversial, and like I understand that, and it's like sometimes I don't know what people want. Like it really was, it had some things thrown in, the evil dies tonight, the whole gang mentality thing was a little bit weird, but it was pretty brutal. I will say, as far as like kills and stuff,
I agree with that.
I mean, if you just want like a killer movie, like that might be it.
I do wish that like Jamie Lee Curtis was in one scene with Michael Myers. Like that would have been cool.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. It's like maybe it's like a throwback to like the old Halloween 2. It's like she was kind of just in the hospital in there, and I've even gone back. I watched the Rob Zombie ones recently, and a lot of people hate those. I kind of had a good time. I did like it too.
I like the first. I like the first one more than the second one. The second one was kind of.
I understand, but like if you think about like part 2 had this weird. For those that remember Return to Oz, it had this weird like winter wonderland feel. Like when it was kind of like in this snowy area, and there was like the weird things. Like it kind of gave me that feeling. Though a lot of people do hate those, and like I don't hate anybody that hates it. like hey, Halloween 3 is still like the best sequel, so
yeah, for sure.
Right. We'll all agree on that.
I was trying to remember, because I was saying that I was playing Lost Judgment. What I really like about Lost Judgment is it kind of handles bullying. Like, I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Have you guys played it yet?
No, I really want to.
Yeah, it's kind of slipped under my radar to where, like, I even forgot, because, like, I never finished the last one. And, like, I know that new one's come out. Like, it is because it is my thing. So it's like, I should play it at some point, but, like, I haven't as of yet.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil too much of it. I'm just going to say, just like the first game had a certain issue that it kind of honed in on. It seems like that's going to be happening in this one as well, and it's so far it's really interesting. And then after playing Like a Dragon and then playing Lost Judgment, made me remember why I loved the original like Yakuza like beat 'em up style a lot. I mean, I loved Like a Dragon; that was a great RPG. But just that, classic beat 'em up, I'm glad they kept that with Lost Judgment.
You'd rather be kicking their ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'm okay with it, because it's like we'll get Judgment for the beat 'em up games, and we'll get the Like a Dragon series with the turn based, and I like them both enough to where I'm cool with having both of them.
And I think that's going to help. It's going to help the studio with their fatigue. Because ever since Zero got really popular, it was like every year we had like 4 RGG studio games come out.
It was too much.
And they were all starting to kind of blend together and seem all the same, and it was just getting people burnt out. So Judgment has just enough little oomph to it, just enough little bit of flavor to it that it's a different thing from the original Yakuza series. And then you have Like a Dragon, which is like the RPG series. So that's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Because there's always enough Yakuza games to go back to. If you're like, I miss the old style, it's like there's plenty of them.
Definitely. You don't have the years and years of gaps like I did. Since I'm the OG of it all.
I got them all. I got them all at once.
It's kind of brutal. And like I said, like it's awesome because like you don't have to wait like I did. But it's definitely a different experience,
Well, yeah, because I played Kiwami first because that's the one James bought me, and then I went through and played through Zero, and then Kiwami 2 came out, and then 6 came out. So like I fucking was just like bam, 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 like just playing them nonstop, and they're all like 30, 40 hours. So, and that's if you don't do everything.
Right. Yep. I put over 100 into part 5.
So. And I haven't even gotten to 5 yet. I started 4 and I'm like, where's Kiryu? And then I stopped, which I need to get back to it.
Part 5 is the best fishing. Like, if you like fishing, part 5, like that's where it's at. Like that's.
Yeah, Ryan, I had the same issue when I played 4. especially right after the ending of 3.
Yeah.
And then,
3. I played 3. I loved it.
Yeah, and you see the ending of 3 and you play 4, and it's just kind of like, okay, well, because you're thrown into a totally different scenario, a totally different new characters, and you're like, okay, what is this? I kind of want to see what happens after 3.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I played 3 and immediately started up 4, like right after the credits, and then I was like, wait, what the fuck? And then that's kind of where I've stopped, and I haven't gotten through 4, and I haven't gotten to 5 yet, but I've played 6, which is weird.
Yeah, and 5 even has like 5 almost has like a completely different character like added in. It has this like baseball dude that's like put in there who I love, like I really love. And like I said, 5 is probably one of my favorites. Like you have little things like the fishing added in, like I said, which I think is the best. You have like hunting. Mm-hmm. You have the different characters that you go through, kind of like 4, because 4 was one of the first ones that had you had about 3 or 4 different people you played as, and 5 has that too. But it's a different experience. I can see some people get hung up in certain areas.
Yeah, I don't know. Just give me one moment, guys. Sorry. Let's see. Well, Ryan.
I'm sorry, we all just kind of floundered there at the last minute.
I didn't have anything else to add. I was just like, man, I love Yakuza, but I got a little too much of it.
Oh yeah, that's very, very true. Well, Ryan, for our listeners, how can we check out all your endeavors? Casket Creatures, Cadaver Candle Company.
So yeah, please just look up Cadaver Candle Company on bigcartel.com/Cadaver Candle Company. You can buy all of our shit there. Perfect thing for Christmas. If you want to get those Christmas orders in, you got to be quick. You got to do it now. And then other than that, check out the Casket Creatures. We're doing a show the 13th in New Jersey at some place
Jersey. Wow.
Yeah, some place called like Ryan's Bar or something.
It's your
my
bar.
I didn't even know. Yeah, it's pretty
you
cool.
Get free drinks, man.
I better. But yeah, so that's gonna be cool. And then Neon Warlords. It's just me and one other dude right now, and we're gonna, we might take it live. We haven't decided. We're just kind of having a lot of fun making some cool, like, just sounds like some like, thrashy with a little bit of synthy stuff. It's fun. It's a little different.
Friends forever, honesty, loyalty. Like that kind of
do you know that song was played at my wedding?
Oh my god,
that's awesome.
It was, yeah. Like when we said I do and we kiss, you may kiss the bride, and then that song kicks on. Friends forever.
You win, man. I thought I had a good wedding, but I mean, you win.
That's freaking awesome.
I can't compete with that.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty sick.
That's freaking awesome.
But thank you guys for having me on, man. It was a fucking blast. I always love talking to you guys. Y'all are 2 of my best friends that I don't get to see hardly at all. So need to change that, but there's a little bit of a barrier in distance here.
Yeah. For those Event Horizon friends, we're just gonna hang out in the background.
Exactly.
Well, guys, I definitely want to thank you for checking out another episode of XS Gaming Podcast. And again, if you enjoyed this podcast, you can check us out on all your podcatcher of choices like iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, what have you. And if you want to check out archived episodes, you can go on youtube.com/Xander Skullion. That's my YouTube channel. And there's an XS Gaming Podcast playlist. You can check out a lot of previous episodes, Halloween episodes we have with Ryan. It's always a blast having you on the show, man.
Always, man. I love you guys.
Again, everyone, happy late Halloween. And as always, happy gaming.
And also, like, it's fucking cold now, man. It's like,
oh, I love it.
30 degrees.
I love it.
We didn't speak about the weather. Gotta bring it up one last time. Have a pleasant evening.
I feel like we always talk about the weather. Every year.
Yeah, you got to. It's cold right now. Like, it is. Hoodie time, beanie time. Break it out. It's all good. Love
I feel
you
like
guys. Happy Halloween.
James always gets just caught up into some conversation about the weather.
God damn.